Hello, this is Rico Cavella, and this is your Ageless Body Self-Care Guide, Operations Manual for the Human Body. And the title of today's session is Creating Beauty from the Inside Out. And our expert is Danette May. She is the founder of Mindful Health, LLC, and the Rise Movement. She's a world-renowned motivational speaker, author of The Rise and other health and women's empowerment books, and a former celebrity fitness trainer, wife, and a mother. So Danette, thanks so much for being here and sharing your knowledge and wisdom with us.
I'm excited to be here and welcome to everybody who's listening.
Thank you so much. And I really like what you're doing is what your message is, that you're transforming the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual lives of millions of people around the world by focusing on healing foods and healing movement and healing mind. And this is exactly what we need more of in the world, and that's exactly what this program is all about. So I'm so happy that you're here. So let's get right into it. So my very first question for you is, what do you really mean by creating beauty from the inside and out? And how are you defining beauty?
Ooh, okay. So as a woman, we're born and we're born and men too. Like I don't want to, I think this doesn't go from one gender only. We're born with this unlimited potential within us and this only currency of love within us. We know no ugly or pretty. We don't know fat, skinny. We don't know any of that. We're perfect and we just see unlimited potentiality. And as we get older, we're bombarded with different paradigms of the way we should look and the way we should be. And as I've been on this journey, and I think a lot of us are experiencing this, is that this whole story we've been told around what's beautiful is a lie. Mm-hmm. And the greatest beauty is the world that you create within yourself, the way you see yourself. If you can show up in your love for yourself, not only does that change the physical realm of how people perceive you, but it also changes your cells. It changes your DNA. It changes the way diseases or different external toxins relate inside your system. To me, the world of self-love is the ultimate beauty of all.
Wow, so well said. You expressed that so well. Yeah, I know it's kind of sad, you know. Both of us, I think we both started like being like in the fitness world and being personal trainers, and so many people have an issue with their own body, and so we try and let them know that the body that they have is just the right body for them, right? And when they take the best care of it, the beautiful body shows up. That's the body that they should really be appreciative and take really good care of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually feel that we are not our bodies, that this body is just this vessel that gets us from A to B and allows us to experience this physical world we're living in, but we are not our bodies. And once we grab a hold of that, that's where our power lies. And that's where we get to free ourselves from these chains and these limiting beliefs that we put upon ourselves.
Yeah, we just have this physical body. It's just our gift. It's just our vehicle to do to live our purpose and do what we're meant to do and to enjoy this life as well.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. They bring pleasure for sure.
Yeah. So my next question was why it's so important, but I think we already talked about that. So why do you think so many people struggle with this and have such a challenge of feeling beautiful inside and out?
I believe it's the lies that have been fed through our upbringing and through our culture and society. We are told the way we should have our hair, if we should be tan or not tan, if we should be tall or not tall. Yeah. We're told from the minute a girl is born, this is what you should wear, this is pretty, this isn't pretty. And truly, okay, we can't really necessarily change that. We kind of can, but it really starts with going, oh, I recognize the lie, and really recognizing that external lie that was placed upon you. And once you can recognize it and see it for what it is, then you can kind of go, okay, I'm going to move that to the side. And what is my voice? What is my power? What is my truth around who I am? And, but the first awareness is truly just understanding that this whole thing that we're seeing, like I'm looking at you, you're looking at me, we look at other people, is just this outward reflection, but it's not necessarily the being of the human. And so can we go past that veil into really what we're witnessing within the moving spirit of each human? And once we do that, we free ourselves to see it within ourselves as well.
Well, again, so well expressed. That's so right. That's so right on, and that's why it is so important. You know that we need to get. I mean, we have our physical body, but we're not our physical body, and that we're here to do great things, and we need to move past that. And it's so good that that we're bringing this out to people that that we really need to have a whole mind, body, and spiritual approach to our life. Otherwise we're going to be stuck in all this, like you said, all these lies and all these limiting beliefs, and that's why some people are so stuck, and not feeling good about their life, right?
Right, right.
So good. Well, so tell us about this great program that you've created, Rise into Radical Self-Love. I like that. And then also tell us what you mean by healing foods and healing movements and healing mindsets.
All right, I'm going to go back just a little bit because I really believe that we all are gifted with what I call a refiner's fire. And it's this refiner's moment that we each get at least one in our lives. Some of us get multiple. And this is when we're truly molded into the character of who we are. This is when we're faced against the hardships, the pain, the things that we call chaos, or the things that we call negative. And this is our opportunity to strip away all the stories, all the things that are no longer needing to be there, that do not serve us, so that we can rise into the truth of who we are, which is the essence of who we are. And for me, I had my refiner's fire. People I think can look at me and go, oh, Jeanette, it's easy for you to talk about self-love or to talk about health. I mean, you look like you're very healthy. You look like, you have long blonde hair, blue eyes, like it's easy for you. But here's the truth is I didn't always look like this. And I really know that it's been the internal game that I've been playing within myself that has changed the external reflection that people are seeing of me. And I went through my refiner's fire, which helped me with that internal game. Mm-hmm. And this is what I invite for everyone listening, is that this internal fire that you're going to experience, whether it's rejection, whether it's betrayal, whether it's just deep pain of whatever's coming into your life, is your opportunity. And for me, it was the loss of my son. It was a really difficult divorce, which left me as a single mom to two beautiful girls with $47.63 to my name. And I also lost my son, and I spiraled into this deep depression. I was in no man's land that I wasn't used to. I had started off as this fitness person. I thought I had all the answers. And when I hit that depression and I hit those rock bottoms, it really opened my eyes that this is so much deeper than I even realized. This whole idea of health, this whole idea of our mindset, this whole idea of movement is so different than I could understand until I felt it in my cells and went through deep depression and went through deep pain. And it was through this time and this brain fog and this depression and this feeling of like, what's going to become of me? I've got these kids, I'm broke as a joke. And that's where my deep why was born. And this is where your deep why and most deep whys are born, is in this rock bottom. If that's your gift, that rock bottom, because all you have is to go up. And I started to realize that there's no way I'm going through this just for myself. This story just couldn't be my own story. And obviously there's been thousands of people that have written to me and said, I have a similar story. And that's because I am you and you are me. And it's just, I've learned deeply how impactful superfoods can be on your brain fog, your depression. I've learned deeply the impact of movement on clearing the cobwebs of your soul so that you can get to the truth of who you are. And I think you can relate to this, is like, there's one thing, you watch this woman come in who's like, I just want to lose 10 pounds. They come in, you're the trainer, and you start putting them on weights. And then you're like, whoa, this woman's like found her voice. This woman's leaving certain relationships. She's stepping into like her dream job, because here's the deal. The spirit, the body is all tied together. And that's what's so beautiful. And I really, really unlayered that going through my rock bottom. And then obviously the mindset piece is, I think, the secret sauce of all secret sauces.
Well, before you get into your program, again, I just love how you express all that so well. Yeah, absolutely true. So many people come and they think what their main thing is, I want to lose weight, but that's not really what it's about, So we have to get people to realize, as you said, your why. When you really know why you want to achieve a goal, it doesn't come down to, usually when you dig down, it's really the why it's got to be connected to something, what your core values are, what's truly important in your life. Usually it has something to do with family, just like you, right? it has something to do with your family. So when you really dig down and really see what your why is about, then sticking with a healthy eating or exercise or any kind of program like that is the easy thing to do. But you got to get your mindset right so much. And also, I just want to say, your story, I mean, it's so good because I think so many people can really relate to that, because we all have challenges in different ways. But, and isn't it true, the saying, I love old sayings that our challenges are truly our blessings, right? Because that's how we grow, and that's how we move forward.
Absolutely. And that's where all the programs came from. My programs came from my pain. My message came from my mess. And it really was this part that I had to unlayer to really understand really what is this whole superfood business? What is all this meaning for movement, and what's true around it and what's not? And that's really where the programs came from, was those three pillars of just understanding that when you have those, like just like a table, you can't just have like which a lot of people are focusing on is just food and exercise, like a specific program and food. And it's like your table's still going to fall over. You have to have the mindset piece to everything, I believe, in your relationships, your finances, in your health. And to me, I've learned really high, like my programs have that mindset piece, because if I can go in and shift your subconscious beliefs, then we're not yo-yoing anymore. We're not doing yo-yo dieting. We're not self-sabotaging and gaining weight after you've lost some, because the subconscious mind is the ruler of the ultimate path of the destination you're wanting to go.
Oh, good. I totally believe that. So many people are, how I like to say, well, we're pretty much run by our subconscious, which is true, but our subconscious it doesn't make any judgments, or it's just putting out what's been put in there, and our conscious mind can overrule our subconscious mind. I like how you said that so much. And so let's talk about, because the challenge is, I mean, so you had this great challenge, but you were able to get it together and overcome this and learn all this stuff. But so I always wonder why so many people are not able to do that. And so, as you said, as you begin with your program, you help people to get into their subconscious and their conscious and change their mindset. So how do you do that?
Yeah. So let me just back up, because you said the question that I've asked myself so many times, which is, if we know this stuff, why is not everyone grabbing a hold of it?
Exactly.
And why do some people that seem to be ran through the mud and the muck of their lives grab a hold of it and change it? And why others that are just continuing to suffer on needless, it's the big question of my life too. And I think for me is that I really want to give people just a nugget of hope, because sometimes we just need that nugget of hope that it's possible for you. It's possible for you. It's possible for me. It's possible for anyone who's listening, because our brain this is where I'm going to get into the subconscious. Our brain is so good at telling us stories around, it worked for them, but it won't work for me. Yeah. You know what? They're not as busy. They don't have the life as me. They don't have all these people pulling at me. The brain wants to come up with every excuse. And the reason it does that is because it's trying to keep you safe. Now, you might be like, well, if I'm not safe, how is it keeping me safe? It's because the brain equates safety as anything that's new that comes into your realm as unsafe. So if I'm coming to you and you've been like, hey, try this amazing program or try this thing out, that's alert in the brain, in the cells, new. And so it's just registering as, I don't know. And then the brain just goes into excuses. So what I really recommend first and foremost is to challenge the thoughts. Is that true? And always asking, is that true? If I'm feeling, oh, I'm too busy, or that will work for them, it won't work for me, or I have a high metabolism, or I have this type of function that the doctor said I had, so it's not going to work for me. Is that really true? Because if I am an unlimited potentiality person and I am a divine being, why not try on the hat of, you know what? It's possible. Let's give it a go. Let's at least try. And so what I do in my programs is send audios in every one of my programs where I'm really talking, getting you in a relaxated state. It's kind of like hypnosis, but not. And really speaking to that subconscious of safety, really speaking to that subconscious of the deep truth, which it knows, which is love. And when I do that, it makes the cravings go away. All of a sudden, people are like, I feel like the cravings have gone away. They didn't go away. It's just that now you feel more safe. And so that's really where I start, is hope, and then just subtly starting to rewire the subconscious beliefs around possibility for yourself.
That is so good, and that's so important. That's exactly what we all need. That, I have a kind of a funny thing here I came up with. You know how we hear so much about fake news these days, right? Well, that's not the fake news we have to worry about. What's on the nightly news. The fake news we have to worry about is exactly what you said. We have all these stories going on in our brain telling us that we can't do this or it's not going to work for us. That's the fake news you have to look out for, right?
Ooh, that's so good you said that, because yes, right now there's a lot of talk about fake news, but are
Yeah,
we checking ourselves? We're admitting fake news all day long to ourselves. So
exactly.
that is the biggest pandemic.
That's the fake news you got to look out for. We're creating it for ourselves, not that
Yeah.
other stuff that we had. And also, the other thing I just want to add is just what you said as well. I think the biggest, if I think it could be that actually the biggest number one challenge that we have as humanity is lack of expectations of what's possible in our life. Do you
Mm,
agree with that?
yeah,
It's just like what you said.
yeah, it's another way to frame this is we're all built with this like ceiling. And what I'm going to say by that is whatever you grew up with. So if you watched your mother or your father had this concept of health, and we're going to talk in the realm of health, but this goes in the realm of finances. This goes
Hmm.
in the realm of what type of relationship you deserve, what type of body you deserve, what type of health you deserve. And so you watch these people that have had an impact on your life. Usually it's a parent, siblings, family members, and what is their story, and usually your story might be right there or just a little bit above. And so what you want to do, that's your ceiling. So you're never going to get worse than that, but you're always struggling to get above that. You're like, I'm just not going to be that optimal person. But if you can raise your standards, of what's possible for you, what you're talking about, it changes everything, because you'll always meet your standard. And it's like we're all conditioned with a certain standard. So check it out. They call it a blueprint or a standard or a upper limit or a ceiling. But can you raise that standard and just give it a go? Test it out, try it out. You have nothing to lose. Raise your standard, because you will do your musts, you won't do your shoulds.
So good. And both Daniette and I are here to tell you that you absolutely can raise your expectations, raise your standard. You can do it. We know you can do it. You know, we're constantly doing it, and the people we work with are constantly do it. So we know you can do it. So no limitations. It's always like to say, you know, our beliefs are what's creating our reality, the whole saying of that. So the thing is, what I like to tell people is, why would you want to believe anything but the very best for yourself? You know, why believe anything negative or less for yourself when you can believe whatever you want? Why not believe the very best for yourself, right?
Exactly. I love that.
Exactly.
If you're going to
Yeah.
believe any story, believe the best one. Why not? You can believe
Believe the
anything.
best. That's right, exactly right. Okay, so tell us, give us, what would you say would be maybe the 3 or 4 top things that you would recommend people that they could start doing right now to really improve their self-love and their expectations and all those things we've been talking about?
Mm, I love that. I love that. Well, the first one is I want you to take out a pen and paper and really ponder on non-negotiables. What are your
I'm writing that
non-negotiables
down.
in life? Because we'll do our non-negotiables, but we won't do like our goals. So what is like a non-negotiable is a non-negotiable. Like what is that for you? And here's the deal. I've read books about being impeccable with your word to other
Mm,
people, right? And we can all agree that being honest, sticking with our word to other people is important, but are you being impeccable with your word with yourself?
yeah.
So and that is the ultimate act of self-love, is that you show up for yourself. If you set something for yourself, or you say, this is my non-negotiable, I'm impeccable with my word for myself. And as you do that, the self-confidence increases, your self-love for you raises because you are honoring you. You're treating yourself like you've been told, maybe if you've studied the Bible, like you should your neighbor. Like, how can you love your neighbor as yourself if you're not loving yourself? So your greatest work and your greatest purpose in this lifetime, I truly believe every human being's going, what's my purpose? What's my purpose? It's like every human being has a responsibility, and their purpose, their number one purpose, is to step into radical self-love for themselves. And it's not selfish. It's not something that you should put second. It is mandatory, because when you operate from self-love, it changes all of your decisions. It changes the way you interact with the world, your family, the way you show up in whatever job you're going to do, and how you're going to impact the planet. It changes how you're using things that actually impact the planet, like plastic, the food you're consuming. So your number one job is self-love, but first you got to write down, what are my non-negotiables? And I'm going to give you some examples of mine. What I wrote down is nature time. What I know about nature is turning off the news and just asking yourself, who am I communing with the most? Some of you are communing with the news and with Google more than you're communing with yourself, nature. If you believe in God, if you believe in a higher power, who are you communing with most? And really checking that, being honest with yourself, and getting back into the essence of everything, which is nature, and getting into that stillness and the quiet. So that's my first non-negotiable. No matter what. And then I consume something that's living. So the quickest way to feel dead, to feel brain fog, to feel low on energy, to feel low on yourself, is to eat dead food. And the media feeds us dead food all the time. If you go to the grocery store and you buy in the middle section of the grocery store, most of that food is completely dead. How can you expect to feel alive, feel love for yourself if you're consuming dead food? It's not about this is bad or good. Just ask, does this help my spirit? Just ask that question. Change the parameter of the way you're asking about food, and it will really shift this whole drama around this is good, this is bad, ooh, this is sinful, this is on my cheat day. Like, get rid of that nonsense. Just ask yourself, is this going to feed my soul today? Is this going to actually make me feel more empowered today? And then govern those choices, and so for me, it's something green, something living, something that I know came from the soil, that the sun has kissed. That's a big deal for me. And then my third non-negotiable is saying affirmations for myself. We know that the two most powerful words in the world are I am. And whatever comes after I am is basically you're anointing your life. And so I am whatever. I'll just take 30 seconds to I am myself up and rev myself up. And all of these things have made a huge difference on my self-love. And I have to tell you, it's been a journey for me. So I definitely am passionate about this discussion. I would not be sitting here today. I wouldn't be having the business I have, the relationships I have, the health I have, the beauty I have, had I not taken that journey really seriously about getting into love with myself and treating myself like someone who's worthy of having impeccable word to herself, and who is willing to commune more with nature than she is to commune with others, Google, the news, everyone else. So that has made all the difference, and those are my best tips for everyone.
Oh my gosh, you just expressed that so well, and I'm just like 100% in agreement with you. It's so much. I do the I am all the time too. It's because I think people need to understand that words are energy. Everything in the universe is energy, right? Our beliefs, our thoughts, our words are all energy. So if you're not saying the words you use are so important. So that's so good, Jeanette. Okay, so the last question that I have for you now is, this is the toughest one of all. What ideas do you have to actually get people to actually step up and take action on the recommendations that you give?
I always say, because no one really feels excited about eating the salad at first. No one feels really excited about doing the workout, but no one at the end of eating that salad that was really good, or eating that healing food, or doing that workout goes, oh, I wish I wouldn't have done that. Everyone at the end of it goes,
absolutely,
man, I'm so glad I did that.
Right.
I feel so much better. So what I recommend is try not to think of like the whole duration. Just do one thing today. Like for maybe it's like, I'm just going to move for 2 minutes. And what happens when you just say 2 minutes? So maybe there'll be days it's just 2 minutes, but more than that, usually what happens is that 2 minutes turns into 5 and then 10 and then 15. So give yourself permission for 1 minute, 2 minutes. And the food, give yourself permission, just one thing that's living for your day. And you'll start and do it first thing in the morning. Just start it first and just be like, if I eat Oreos the rest of the day, at least I did this. What happens to the mind though, is when you do this and it's just making it really simple and just starting there, is it just starts to build this momentum for you. So you're not having to just feel like you've got to like hone it. Some of you are like perfectionists. You got to feel like you got to just like go and take it. But some of you just need to go little bite sizes and just watch as the magic starts to unfold naturally for you.
Wow. Danette, that was so good. And I just love how you express all these things so well. And I mean, just totally agreement. So we'll just leave it at that. And again, I want to encourage you to, check out the PDF that comes with this video training. It's all the information on how you can connect with Danette and learn about her programs and her books and how you can learn more from her. So we definitely want you to do that. And so I'll just end this session with I promise you that the more you love yourself, the better your life becomes. Isn't that true?
Yes, I love that. I love your sayings.
Yeah, I'm into lots of sayings. I love sayings. Yeah.
I love this.
Yeah. So the more you love yourself,
the better your life becomes.
Absolutely guaranteed. Isn't that right?
Yeah. I love that.
All right. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.